This is the Nokia 4.2 with Android 1, 5.71 HD display. There are two cameras in the back, 13 megapixel and 2 megapixel. At the front there's an 8 megapixel camera. The battery is 3000 milliamp hour. There's a dedicated Google Assistant button on the side. There's a fingerprint sensor, and there's a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. So, like I said, it has a Android 1. That's the basic version of Android 1, the streamlined version of Android 1. If you look at the phone here, it has that camera, the front camera, 8 megapixel. If you look at the back, it has those two cameras. There's an LED flash and the fingerprint sensor. And like I said, it's a 13 megapixel camera plus that 2 megapixel camera. On the right side, you're going to have the power button and the volume rocker. On the left side, you're going to have that dedicated Google Assistant button, and there's the SIM chip tray. The SIM chip tray is it's a double SIM. Let me show it to you. As you can see right there, there's 3 slots. This is for the memory. This is SIM 1 and this is SIM 2. On the right side of the phone, like I said, we already talked about it, there was that power button. That's also a notification light, so when you're charging the phone, it glows. When you miss the phone call or you miss text messages or you have notifications, this pulses. So let's turn the phone on. Android 1 does have a notch, and you cannot get rid of that notch. You're going to have to download an app if you want to get rid of that notch. Okay, so let's open it up. I'm going to try to use this. The first time you open it up, you have to use the pin required after the device restarts. So the first time you'd have to type in that pin. Okay, so I typed it in. So this is the streamlined Android. So you have all the basic stuff like Google Assistant. You have an FM radio. This FM radio, you have to connect the earphones to make it work. You have Google Pay. You can pay wirelessly. What else do we have? That's it. So this is, like I said, the streamlined version of Android 1. There's no bloatware, there's no garbage. There's no garbage that you have to get rid of. So let's look at this button right here. It glows when you charge the phone. Let me plug it in. See, so it's glowing. That indicates that you are charging the phone. And now let's see what it does when you miss a call. So it starts doing that. This is what happens when you miss a call, or you have a new text message or a new notification. It'll remind you that you have to look at that. Okay, so we are outside. I am now recording with the Nokia 4.2 itself. This is where I live. So we'll see how this comes out. Let me take a little walk. It looks like the neighbors just had their water heater replaced. Okay, so this is the front camera. Since I never use it, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Alright. Okay, the sun has declined. So this is how it looks. So we'll come back in about an hour or so when it's completely dark and see how that looks. Okay, this is nighttime without the flash. Okay, so here's a little interesting experiment we're gonna do. I want to see if this Nokia 4.2 can connect to this keyboard and can connect to this mouse right here, and maybe even charge this small phone using this cable right here. So let's test it out and see what happens. So the first thing I want to do is test the mouse, see if it'll connect. Okay, so I've already plugged in this mouse right here, and it does connect. As you can see, you can scroll using the scroll thing right here. You can click on something, for example this right here. So now let's see if it'll connect. Let's see if it'll connect to the keyboard. Okay, so I have already connected this keyboard to this phone with the cable. So let's type in Skywind007. So let's type Skywind 007, and there it is. See, so you can type in, so you can use a keyboard. So the last thing I want to try is see if you can use this phone to charge this phone with that cable. So let's find out. Once again, I have already set this up, so I'm going to do this single-handed and see if we can charge this phone with this phone. So let's give it a shot. Now let's see what happens. And there we go. So you have this phone can charge this phone. So that's very interesting. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to do is I use this cable to connect this to my flash drive and see if I can look at the files in here. So you go to the phone and you go to notifications, and then it says SanDisk USB drive. So you click on explore. Let me see if I can. So you can select select files and then say always, and there you go. So now you can look at your files if you want using this cable. So that's interesting. So it's just a matter of having this cable with you. Okay, so let's return to the fingerprint reader back here. As you can see, I'm having difficulty focusing, but it is dark in here. And this is what reads your fingerprint. I already tested it. It works very well. And you can set up, I believe, 6 or 7 fingerprints. So basically, I already set up my hand. So all I have to do is press there, and it unlocks. Let's try that again. You press there, it unlocks. Another thing I want to talk about is the memory. If you go into memory, let's go into memory. Storage right here. So here's it tells me, let me here it tells me, let me brighten up the screen a little. Okay, that's a little better. So here basically I already used up over half of the memory of this phone, and it has a total of 32 gigabytes. So you do have a problem. I mean, with any phone, even though 32 is a lot, well, not a lot, but enough, it's never a good thing that you've had this, you're already halfway through the memory. But it's no big deal on this particular phone, on the Nokias, because you do have the option of using the SD card that I inserted as memory. For example, it says right here unsupported, as you can see. It says unsupported because I haven't formatted the card. But if you do choose to set it up, and you let's say set up, it gives you these two options right here. You can use it as extra phone storage. Right there, you can use it as extra phone storage, or you can use it as portable storage. Now, there's a big difference between the two. Seems like it's the same thing, but it's not. When you use it as extra phone storage, you're basically expanding the internal memory. You're making the phone memory bigger. When you use it as portable storage, you're using it exactly as that, portable storage. You're going to be loading videos and pictures and a few other files like music files on it, and that's it, but no apps. But if you use it as extra phone storage, you do have the option of loading apps or basically anything onto that SD card. Now you might say, well, any phone can do that. Nope, not true. Not any phone can do that. I've already tested the Samsung line of phones, like the Samsung Galaxy S9, and that phone does not give you the option to do that. So basically, when you run out of memory, the only option you have on a Samsung Galaxy S9 is to add it as a portable storage, but that won't fix the problem, because all those apps that are using up the memory, they cannot be loaded onto portable storage. They can only be loaded onto internal memory. So not all phones do this. The Nokias are one of the few phones out there that actually do this, and this is a very good thing, because believe me, once you run out of memory and you decide you cannot delete apps because you need all those apps, then you have a problematic phone that you cannot add anything to it. And then as soon as it starts updating, even if you don't do anything, you don't add any apps to it, you don't take any pictures, as soon as the phone updates itself, like it starts updating an app, it'll run out of memory. So you'll be in trouble. You won't be able to take pictures, you won't be able to take videos, and a message will keep popping up saying the phone is out of memory, the phone's out of memory. So that's a good thing about this phone, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Another cool thing about this phone that I want to talk about is this right here, the NFC, the near field communication. You use that to pay on wherever you have Google Pay. So I already tested this on the movie rental Red Box and on the Chase ATM. It does work, but it doesn't work everywhere. So it doesn't work at Walmart, it doesn't work at HEB, it doesn't work at a gas station. So it's not a big deal, to be honest. But it's good that it's there at least. So you're just gonna have to find places that accept Google Pay. Okay, so now we are going to hide the notch, that ugly notch that phones come with these days. So you can see over there it is, that ugly notch. There is a way to get rid of it, but not from the phone itself, but from a third-party app, which is this one right here. It's called the round. It's this one right here. So you open up the app, and then you just press start, and the notch will go away. There it is. The notch is gone. So you no longer have that ugly notch. And the cool thing about it is that it's still there, the notifications and everything. So it's not reducing the screen size, it's just eliminating the notch, which is great because I hate notches. And that's it. Okay, these are my final thoughts about this phone. It's a great phone for the most part, but there are a few things you have to know, and I wrote them down right here. This phone does have a notch, as you can see. You cannot get rid of it unless you download a third-party app from the Play Store. This phone does not have wireless charging. You can add wireless charging by adding a wireless receiver, which costs about $3. But to do that, you're going to have to add a case, and I'll do a video on that later on. This phone does not have reversible USB. So this phone has the type of USB that only goes in one direction but not in the other direction. So it connects right there. And this phone does not have a compass or no gyro. So if you don't know what that is, the odds are you don't need it. So overall, a great phone. Another thing you need to know about this phone is that since it does have this this right here, you have to turn it off. It has this assistance. Sometimes you just have to turn it off so it doesn't get in the way. But it's a great phone. I strongly recommend it for the price. I definitely recommend it. Nokia does have other more powerful versions. They have the 7.2 and the Nokia 9 PureView, which have more sensors and more power. They're faster, they have more memory, more storage. So this is just the introductory phone. You don't have to go for this one. You can go for the I wanted to go for the Nokia PureView, but that was about $500, so it was kind of out of my budget. $500. Unfortunately I cannot afford it. So this was the best option, because that Nokia PureView does have the reversible USB. It has wireless charging, and it's a lot better in general. But this one's a very good phone, so I do recommend it. It's up to you if you want to buy it or not. Everybody's different, so I don't know what you're looking for in a phone, but for me this works out. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and have a great day.